friends, it's Julie, and today we're going to start a series on how to easily make a junk journal. This is a very simple way with a book and a magazine or something like that. Sometimes you can use a calendar, whatever. I'll do a calendar one maybe later if you want to see that as well. And I chose magazine because it has lots of great images in it, and this is the 100th anniversary of Daphne, so there's a lot of good things. And this book, because for the first part, this is a folded 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. It will fit that easily without having to do trimming. And I did look up comps on sold, this exact book sold, and they go for between $10 and $17 online. It is, but those are in good condition. This is not in good condition. This has already come apart. It is detached. So there were just a couple strings hanging here, and it basically just tore off when I opened the book. So all these pages were already ready to come out. And so, and it's a sad thing, but I did have this book for sale in my shop. I have an antique booth. It's been there for over a year. Nobody has wanted to buy it for just $5. So, you know, what do you do? It's not in good shape. It's kind of dirty and dingy. So we're going to give it a new life. And some of these pages, like the maps and such, I can sell them individually or have them framed individually. There's a lot of illustrations. These can also be framed, sold, or whatever, or used in other things. So the information can stay the same. See, that's what I mean by dirt and stuff. So there are a lot of copies out there of this. So I know sometimes you feel a little bit bad about taking apart old things, but if there's nobody who wants them and you've tried, I have tried selling this and nobody wants it, and it's just fell apart more and more, and it's just ripe for being used and to be made new. Okay, so one thing is we are going to have to repair this a little bit, and there's a little dirt, so I'm going to do some cleaning. Okay, so the cover has been cleaned up, so the surface dirt is gone, and it still looks a little dingy, but that's the way it goes. Now I have this fabric that I'm going to put on the spine to repair this spot here. I'll move this. But before I do that, I want to secure this down. It's already part of the book. And also, I like to do hidden bindings. I think hidden bindings are kind of a sleeper way of binding our junk journals, and this is really nice because for beginners or people who, like me, aren't always accurate, it's really nice because it's forgiving. That once, instead of having all of your stitching showing out on the edge, it's covered up. It's you won't see it. So if you don't poke all your holes correct, if your strings aren't all perfect, it doesn't matter. It's very forgiving. So we'll go through that. It's one of my favorite ways to do it. I think it makes it look like a neat, kind of like a neat finish on it. But, you know, I like the other way too. But that's what we're going to do this time. And I'm also going to glue down this flap. Everything that is loose is going to get glued down. And I'm using this Beacon 3-in-1. I believe it is the same, basically the same thing as Fabri-Tac. And this is my favorite glue. I think it's got the most strength to it. And I get mine from Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I don't remember which one. But Michael's often has that 40% coupon. Yeah, that's probably where I got this from. And so then you get it as a discount. So, okay, so that is glued down. Let's do this in the bottom flap that's come up. You want every point of contact to be secure. All right, so we're going to use this fabric, and it's just some old upholstery fabric, and I thought it would kind of match the cover, so that would work. And I've got, do I have an end here? Oops, sorry, I hit you. All of the ends are got a selvage on it. So what we're going to do is rip. Do a little notch at the bottom and rip the selvage off. Maybe. Or It's directional this way. Huh, maybe it is. Okay. Maybe that's what I already did here. I bet you that's what I did. But how wide do I want to go? It wouldn't be terrible if we did that. So let me see. If I do a notch here, will it rip? Yep. All right. Whew. Okay. So we're going to cut this off. Like that. And then I'm going to cut it a little bit bigger because sometimes I am just not very good at cutting things straight. Here's my notch. I'm going to do this. Fold it. It's easier to cut a straight line when it's folded. Okay, there we go. Now you may not have to do this step because if you just pick out a regular book, then you're just not going to have to worry about all these steps. Does this look upright? I think so. Okay, so we're going to glue this in to the center. Now, one book that works really well for this is the Reader's Digest condensed book. And that one, I think it's the right size and everything. There's lots of them, and you don't really have to feel bad about taking them apart usually. You can always check to make sure what they're selling for. Because there's always something, always in each series or set, there's always something that's more valuable than the other ones. But you, because they are basically abridged books, they're not the complete book. They're just samples of books. It's not really as valuable as the real edition. Okay, how far do I have to go? A little bit farther. Oops. So that's one book that a lot of junk journals like to use. And now this is different than an altered book. Well, is this technically an altered book? Basically, no. Altered book is usually when you have a book, then you keep the pages in it. So this is a little different than that. So I'm going to place it, hopefully straight, and then press in the inside first, the middle first, because I want those edges to be crisp. I don't want there to be tension and pulling apart. I want there to be a little slack for when it's opened, but not too much. So there, and then that. Why is this bubbly here? Oh, that's because it's where, I see, it's where the hole is. Okay, and then I'm going to just tack this edge on. Let's pull the string. There are so many books out there, and I know some people feel really bad about taking a book apart, but frankly, if nobody's using them, nobody's reading them, some books, they make so many of them that they have to destroy, the publishers have to destroy them. Just one way of recycling something. Okay, so there we go. That's that, and then we have the outside. So I'm going to carefully trim to the level of this line where the white and the, what do you call it, maroon meet. Alright, so that is connected now. It's stronger. We just have to do something on the back here. And I'm going to do a different fabric on the back. Okay, so the fabric that I want to use on the back is probably going to be this. I've used this on a few different spines. It is from an old shawl from India, and it's just not in great shape. So I keep that in mind for when we pick our image. And what we're going to do is we're going to choose an image that is on one of the harder pieces of fabric, like this a possibility. That might look good. The back cover is always a possibility. Okay, and then I don't think that'll work. But usually if you just flip, it'll automatically flip to the harder, the pieces of paper in here. Like these are the calendar pages. There's invitation, probably not an invitation, but it does have a pretty image. There's stickers. So in this one, there's these two options. I could also cheat, is it cheating? And go with this other Daphne one, and I'll just take that out. It doesn't have to be from the same issue. Image. So there's those, a calendar, a recipe. What's in here? Oh, this is this here. So there. Okay. All right. So of those options, actually I'm not really too fond of those. There's this one is really nice, and it would go good probably with the, although this is very fancy compared to that. Maybe I won't use the edge. We'll see. That would be a nice cover. There's this, but I would have to do a bit of adjusting on there. This can make it so it would be like that. We just put something on here, and this is also quite lovely too, but it's small. So of those four, I'm going to go with this one. Okay. Now what you want to do is you want to be smaller than the cover. So I'm just going to go just a titch smaller, but I actually, if I go a titch small, I'm going to lose something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right here, and because I have the girl, and it's okay for me to then to lose a little bit of the desk. We got that, and then we are going to make a mark there. We're not being real precise, we're just eyeballing it. That's part of the charm of junk journals. And there we go. That would be the cover. And we can do stuff to it if we'd like. One thing I like to do is around the corners. Oh, that's not the corner rounder. Okay. Alright, so that's going to be a cover. And then we find a secondary image for the back cover. I like this one. Or this one matches better with the aesthetic, and I don't think either of these two, although this actually might be okay for the ending, the flowers. I'm not sure if I like these two ladies in there. So what if we don't have enough space just for the flowers, so if we go like that, or if we have her. Yeah, I'm going to do this one. So, just to get the same size. Oops, come on. You can stay up. Like that. And then chop off a little of the bottom. Okay, so they are the same size, basically. But it's okay if they're just slightly different. You're not going to really probably notice once you're done, anyways. Part of the charm of junk journaling is that they're imperfections, as long as they're, charming imperfections. So there we go, front and back, and then we would put something in the middle. And is there anything left of one of these? That's two different. So I think we're just going to put a ribbon in the middle. I don't really see this being the right fabric now that I am doing this. I do like that these colors pick up the red. They just have that they're a little lighter, but they still complement the cover. Okay, so next we're going to find a different ribbon or fabric to put on the back. Okay, so we have a few options. I have this. I want it to be like a thicker ribbon because we want it to be able to cover this. So I have this. It's actually kind of nice. Would be a good candidate. We have black. That would be quite a statement. I don't know if I want black, but we'll have it out. And we have these, but a lot of these are see-through. They're not very dense. I need something more dense. There's also this, which would be kind of crazy, I think. That would be totally different. There's that. And then there's this. All right, so I think what we're going to do, because this is not thick enough to just do one, we want to cover up, I'm going to do 2 strips of this. So we're just going to line up 2 strips, right like that. One here, one there. And go ahead and glue the first one in. I want to try to make sure to be as centered as possible.
I'm going to glue down this way, so I can show myself where the center is, and do lots of glue for the front ribbon. So you can smooth it out a little bit. Get the divot, and then I don't know how much over it's going to go. Okay, you can always add more, right? Okay.
I'm going to like that. I'm going to press down here and then work my way to the this part and make sure I work it into the crease, because later on as you fold or open the book and stuff, you want to have it so it's not going to have stress on the ribbon. Okay, that is good. Okay, trim that off. Actually, I might wrap this over. I was thinking about if I had enough room, if I had enough to do twice. Because I didn't like my edges on the inside. So maybe that's what I'm going to do. It gives it an extra stability. Okay, so instead of putting this on the book, I'm going to put the glue on the ribbon. And remember, every point of contact here, I want to make sure there's plenty of security so nothing comes apart. And I'm not going to worry too much about the glue seepage, because a lot of this is going to be covered up with a hidden binding. Crazy Glue Lady. Wouldn't that be a title for a YouTube channel? Crazy Glue Lady. There, that looks good. And make sure this is pressing down. Creased, because when we fold it, I want it to fold and not pull. Why does that not want to stay? Okay, and then we're going to do that with the other side. I may not have needed the fabric, but it is extra security. So this type of book, you can actually make it in 24 hours if you have all the materials together, because it's just very simple. And don't get caught up in being perfect. That's one of the problems with starting junk journals, is a lot of people, I'm going to leave a little tab here, think they have to be perfect, or they have to have all the right stuff to start with, all the right papers. And just start with where you are and what you have. And then we will do the same thing on the inside. Now we have that. our spine. It's basically repaired. You can't really tell, you can't really feel it. And if you don't have to do spine, you can always just cut another piece of, you can just do a ribbon of your choice. You can cut a little strip of this, put it on the edge like I did on this other one. Like this one, I just cut another piece and just put it on the edge. Or just leave it, whatever. It's your choice. So we're going to glue this, and it's going to overlap the gold a little. Okay, we are going to center it as much as we can, and just like that. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is if you wanted to have a ribbon tie, you would actually do that before this. I should have mentioned that. But you would put the ribbon across. This is probably going to be my personal one, and I don't like the fussy ribbon tie. I just usually do that for other people's journals. I don't like it because it's an extra. I'd like to just do my journal, open it up and be going with it. Okay, then we're going to do the back cover. See, this would be a nice image too, but it's just not for this one. And we can embellish this more later. We're just going to get the journal done, and then you can always fuss at it later. So for the next step, next time after today, we are going to put together our page. Just gather up some papers that you have, and we will put them together. Envelopes, papers, pages, fabric, all kinds of things. Junk mail, whatever you have, envelopes, bags, whatever you think. I know this is not exactly straight. I might have to cover that up later. Are you OCD? If you're not, if you are, you probably shouldn't be doing junk journaling. Okay, the next thing we need to do is make the inside covers, and we do it the same way. Now, because this is the inside, it doesn't have to be the hard, cardstock and stuff. It can be a softer one. So is this our anniversary? Yes, this is the anniversary one. So just pick out a couple pretty things. Ooh, I like these. These might have to be it. Okay. I think we found it. By other magazine, I mean other editions of Daphne's. You can see my cord. I'm sorry, my camera battery is low, so I hope that's not too distracting. Ooh, now that is pretty. So we've got some pretty papers. Those could be it too. Now we have lots of ideas. There's usually more fun stuff at the back of the magazine. And purses. Okay, so we have to keep in mind this is our cover. Kind of try to, I really like these. Autumn and spring. Autumn and winter. I think we're going to do those because those are the seasons we're coming up to. So we'll have one here and one there. Perfect. I like that. We'll just play. It's always better to trim off not enough than too much. There. See how easy that is? If you stick with just one magazine and you're forced to have to use whatever is in that one, it makes it choices a little easier, and it also, oops, I need to trim off a little bit, and it also makes it so you have to be a little more creative, but it's also simple. Okay, so now I'm going to base my other one on this, like that. Here, and just a titch on the bottom. Now with the words and stuff on here, we'll cover that up later. Or maybe we'll make pockets or something. We'll see. Okay. Like this has been cut off, and this has been cut off, so something will be added on that later. So I'm not rounding the corners this time because then the part of the white would show through, or the cream would show through. Okay, so once again, we are gluing it. We don't have to glue it as securely because it's just the inside page. Okay. Yeah, see, I didn't really need that fabric. But, you know, sometimes that's just the way I work, is as I go, things change. Once again, I'm going to press in the crease and then glue. Okay, I like that. And now winter. Our autumn has been a good autumn this year. We actually had color on the leaves this year. A lot of times what happens is we get an early frost and then the leaves freeze on the tree while they're still green or just turning, and then they fall off. So then we don't get fall colors, but this year we do. We don't have a lot of hardwoods, so we don't have a lot of the maples and oaks and stuff. So we see a lot of yellows and orange, not a lot of reds. So there's our cover. We have a writing girl, we have autumn and winter, and the back and the spine, all made from a magazine and a little bit of stuff. Now, if you don't have ribbon and you don't need a repair, you can just use paper. It's perfectly fine. You put some paper in here, or just leave it. You can put a little washi tape on this here too. It doesn't matter because most of this is not going to show up. You're not going to see this because we're doing a hidden spine. I'm just doing the extra because of this weak spot in the book. And so a modern good book and a book in good shape, all you have to do is just do, you know, if you want to put something, just find some pretty paper. I mean, you can get something like these that I have. Put that in there instead of this, or you can just put some washi on the edges. The middle part is going to be covered up. Okay, so there we go. Next time we're going to start assembling our pages and our signatures. Thanks for watching. See you on the next page. Goodbye.